Matt for a second. First, we'll give David Morris some love, folks. Catch his gym off Berkmar Drive. Give him a call, 434-975-MMAI, online at MMAinstitute.com. An excellent opportunity for you to get introduced into a sport that has grown in popularity and has absolutely captivated me. And I think, Matt, I'm just going to start by going, Penn.
All right.
Great win for BJ there, Matt.
It was a great win. It was the best BJ Penn I've ever seen. I lost, actually, a buddy of mine, Matt Hughes, I lost $50 to him on the fight. So even he was betting against me on BJ Penn. You know, but I was really pulling for Diego Sanchez just because I wanted him to win. But BJ came, his A game, A+ game, and you know, that was history.
Even one of the best ground practitioners in the world didn't even take it to the ground. I was watching the fight. Jake and I were sitting next to each other. We said, boy, BJ ever adds kicks. Wham, head kick to finish the fight. You ever see BJ throw a head kick before?
No.
Not like that one.
No.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and he couldn't get taken down at all.
Couldn't, but
yeah.
Randy Couture, in all fairness, has said, I can't even take BJ down when we train together.
Right.
So I don't know why. Kenny Florian did the same thing. I don't know why guys keep trying to take BJ down. You don't want to be on the ground with BJ Penn. His boxing's so good now, though.
And, fellas, we're going to get to Jake McLean. That's who Jay referenced right there in a matter of moments. But BJ Penn, and Jake made this point off air, not a very big guy. But, I mean, he's not a very big guy, yet still is so powerful, so technically sound. I think we saw that in his win, Matt.
Yeah. He's, you know, he fights in the 155 weight class. It's the lighter weight class. He did fight even welterweight for a time being, and yeah, I mean, he's been known for actually gassing in the past and not having a really, you know, well-developed cardio game. And like I said, this was the best BJ Penn I actually absolutely ever have seen. I mean, he was in shape. He wasn't even breathing hard. He was cut and built up. And I mean, you know, it's going to be a while before anybody takes that.
Yeah, that cardio problem with BJ, definitely a thing in the distant past. And he's gone up and fought as big a guy as Lyoto Machida and can probably go down to 145 and clean house down there, too. You know, one of those next-level guys that we see a lot having the belt right now, at least in the UFC.
You know, one thing I think we do as media guys is we take everything to the 9th degree, and I'm about to do this for you, fellas. BJ Penn, the most dominating fighter on the planet today. Matt, do you agree with that? If not, who do you think is?
No, I would definitely still have to go with Fedor Emelianenko. You know, he's an absolute machine, and you know, right now he fights on the Strikeforce promotion as a heavyweight. I definitely think BJ is up there, but if I had to do best pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now, I would still say it's Fedor Emelianenko.
What do you think, Jay?
My vote's for Anderson Silva because I think he could take the 205 belt as well if he wanted to. He could have 2 weight classes. Now, we said that about BJ too, but Anderson looks a little more likely to do it. Apples and oranges, you know, Magic or Michael or Larry. You know, you're splitting hairs, you're picking strengths and weaknesses for each guy. My vote's Anderson Silva, but hard to argue with BJ or with Fedor.
I love the NBA reference from Jay Culligan right there. Very good, Jay. Strikeforce, Saturday night. What are we going to see, Jay? What are we going to see, Matt, with this particular event? And I'll tell you what, Strikeforce has got some stars in there. Certainly not like UFC, but I like seeing Strikeforce over the weekend because it gives us another promotion to watch when UFC's not out. What do you think, Jay?
A guy named Kung Lee, who has fought in a lot of different sanctioning bodies, has moves that you see out of a movie. Some takedowns that he can do are unbelievable. Flies through the air, scissor takedown, takes the guy to the ground. Took some time off to go shoot a movie, which is fine, gave up the belt. Now he's back, probably going to take his belt back in Strikeforce. If you've never seen this guy fight, he is a good, entertaining fight.
It's going to be an exciting fight. Yeah, definitely. And Scott Smith, I've actually seen Scott Smith fight live twice when he went up against Robbie Lawler in the Elite XC promotion. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting fight.
Scott Smith, sure. Another guy we were talking about, one of the best fights I've ever seen, Scott Smith and Pete Sell. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Rocky ending, Rocky movie ending. He's another really talented, heavy hands, not afraid of anything in this world, will go in and bang. Fun time.
Folks, catch Strikeforce tonight, and I'll tell you, Jake McLean, I know he's got some commentary to offer on BJ Penn. Jake, best fighter pound for pound on the planet today. What do you think, my friend?
Well, I'm glad you finally asked me that, Jerry. I think that he can be considered one of the top. Him and George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva. And the reason that BJ can be considered one of the top pound-for-pound fighters is because he fought everybody. Anybody heard of Lyoto Machida, the 205-pound champion? BJ Penn fought him when BJ Penn weighed like 170 and Lyoto weighed 220. And he lost a decision, but he fought him. So, I mean, BJ Penn's got to be one of the top fighters out there, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, and Jake, you're going to get to the move of the week here for us.
Okay. Well, I'm here with Gordy, who was here last week, and we did a move last week. I was not here, I apologize, but he did a Kimura lock last week, and we're doing a very similar thing, except we're doing it with the legs. This is called an omoplata. It's for smaller guys like me, because obviously I'm not as hulking over here as Gordy is, so I'm going to use my flexibility in this move to put the same shoulder lock down. So what happens is I'm gripping here. It's called a rubber guard or a mission control, and I'm going to use my foot to push out and swim up with the exact same lock that you used last week, Gordy. So tell us where you're feeling the pressure in this
I'm
move.
just feeling a lot in my shoulder like I would a Kimura, but there's really not much I can do. I mean, I'm just so out of balance right there. My head's almost into the concrete. You know, I just can't do much with you.
Right, and the whole reason that this move is so much more effective than just a Kimura is because I'm not using just upper body strength to hold you there. My entire body there is controlling your arm, and that's really the only way I can beat somebody who's that much bigger than me. And that's it for the move of the week, Jerry.
Jay McClain, thank you very much. And Matt McDowell, Jay Culligan, folks, Strikeforce tonight. Should I do it again? Penn. I love this guy, U.S. Marine, man. Good people. Coming up on the show, folks, Jim Harshaw of the Cavalier Wrestling Club on set to talk not only UVA wrestling, but all the positive stuff that he has going on with his club right here in Central Virginia. Back in 2 minutes on the Jerry Miller Show, folks. Stay tuned.
Introducing the Toby, the world's first and only professional